Well, hello YouTube. Good morning. Here we are. Have ourselves a start to a little bit of a crisp morning, but that's to be expected this time of year. And yeah, welcome to our vlog. So here we go. Basically, all I have to say is be grateful that it's not colder, because it, well, easily could be. You start getting down into the low single digits, you know, +4, +5, it's not that far, and you're freezing, and a little bit of rain, you could wake up with some snow, or, you know, ice or something. Well, today I am hoping to get things done. I gotta go out and do a few things. I actually have to put on a pair of pants. The first pair of pants that I have wore in, well, basically all summer. I got myself a pair of shorts, and that's really all I've worn. Of course, washed them once in a while, obviously. And now the temperature is getting cooler. I gotta start wearing pants. Plus, you know, going out looking semi-professional appearance, you gotta wear decent clothes as well. You can't show up wearing a tank top, flip-flops, and shorts, because obviously you're not on a permanent vacation. As well as, well, I want to get the basement prepared for the guys to come and install a furnace. It's on my to-do list, on the must-do list, before the big rush hits and everybody wants their furnaces done. I need to talk to them, maybe reevaluate the project a little. I've been considering maybe not doing the hot water heater. I know the hot water heater is 8 years old, and it's a 10-year hot water heater. I don't know if I should replace it 2 years early, or have to, because I'm getting a new style furnace, I'm gonna have to upgrade my chimney, be suitable for the hot water heater to be there by itself. So I don't know if I should waste money upgrading an old chimney to code, especially one like mine that is showing signs of severe deterioration. Or if I should just upgrade the hot water heater a couple years early, save the so-called money, wasting money on code, and have a good furnace and a good hot water heater. The old hot water heater, the one that's there now, of course, is the kind where you fill a tank full of water and you keep it hot all day long, whether you're going to use it or not. You know, there's some days where there's no hot water being used because, well, I wasn't here. Or there's other days where it gets used a lot. Where the on-demand or tankless hot water heaters, they don't store water, they kind of heat instantly, sort of, the amount you used, and that's all. However, with that, you have to upgrade all the copper plumbing or pipes. Now, that's not a huge, big deal, I suppose. However, it does have new copper pipes in it. 10 years ago, when I moved into the house, all the plumbing was redone then, so why redo something that is not needing to be redone? Plus, if I don't do the hot water heater, I won't have to stud up a wall section. It'd be a lot less evasive, a lot less things to do. All I have to do is make room for them to get down there with the new furnace, and they do whatever they have to do. But like I said, I don't know if I want to put money into a old chimney, bringing it up to code, because, well, the grand vision is to delete the chimney when I reshingle the roof in could be another 5 years or so. But in another 5 years I will had to have probably replace the old hot water heater anyways, So do I do it now or do it later? So basically it has to be done either way, and it is what it is, right? But of course, guys, got a beautiful day unfolding ahead of us here. I gotta go out and do some things, hopefully get some things going and rolling. If I can resist the urge to crash and sleep, I can get stuff done because it needs to be done. Fall is right around the corner. Winter will be on its heels. Before you know it, the yard will be a winter wasteland once again, and stuff will be buried under the snow. So you guessed her, gonna go get things going and rolling, and we will see y'all later. Little bit of very late afternoon, early evening update. Well, this morning went out, did my running around. It is what it is. You know, you never know unless you try, and if you never try, well, your chances of success are very low. You know, you go to these places, you drop off your resume, you talk to the manager, which is half your age, and they go, yeah, we're hiring, but you know, we haven't found a suitable candidate yet. Well, wouldn't you think if they were at all interested in you, they would almost hire you on the spot, or take you for a secondary interview, or at least show some interest in the fact that you wasted resources, you know, drove a half hour wherever to drop off a resume. I'm not sure if they're looking for a specific type of person or a specific kind of person. I know when you reach a certain age, or at least this is what it feels like anyway, your job prospects dwindle, because your bosses, the people that are supervising you, become younger than you, because they're the ones that are out of school. They're the ones that are trying to make a name for themselves. And when they're hiring staff, they're not hiring old people. They're hiring people their age or younger, people that they can get, you know, 25, 30 years of good hard work out of before they start to drop off. Where, you know, older people have more life experience, have more work experience, and some of them, you can't pull the wool over their eyes like you can young kids. I remember when I was 25 or so, you could tell me some line of bull about company policy or working your butt off because it's going to benefit you in the long run and you'll become store manager or whatever, and I'd believe you. But as you get older, you start to realize that unless your name is already on the sign of that business, working your fingers to the bone, putting in long hours, ignoring your family, working yourself to death doesn't benefit you anyway. And I think that's what some of these employers know, is somebody who is older, who has experience, knows that it's not going to get them nowhere to well, work themselves to death. So they'd rather hire a young guy, and well, you know, they can push them, and when the young guy snaps, hire another one, because they're a dime a dozen when they're fresh out of school, right? I guess it is what it is. You know, you have to try. You never know, maybe you'll find an employer that is sick of the young guy smashing up the truck or showing up drunk or whatever, and want a mature person to fill that position. It's either that, or they're so overwhelmed by the number of applications and emails and resumes that they just quit looking at them all. If that's the case, then they should hire a third-party company to sift through all the resumes and only filter through the ones that fit their criteria. I know it's very frustrating when you're trying to do a job search and you don't hear back and don't hear back and don't hear back for months, you know, and you see these jobs still being posted, or you see the job reposted because the person they hired didn't work out. And then later on you come to find out why they didn't work out. Well, and not to mention the bad name that the company's got now, because they didn't hire the right person, because they were trying to save what they think is $1 or $2 an hour or so. You know, little do they realize that I'd love to get $35 an hour, don't get me wrong there, who doesn't, right? But I'd work for the same wage as the young person, just to, well, just to have an outing, just to get out of the house. You know, you waste time, you waste fuel, resources driving to these places. You dress up in your monkey suit trying to be all professional like, you know, in your good clothes, and then you get turned down, and it makes a guy think, is it all worth it? You know, why does he have to go around and beg for a job when they're not hiring? Or they're just pretending to hire, or they're looking for the right kind of person that gets government subsidies where they can get a payment back from the government for hiring this kind of person. You know, there are government things to benefit employers where the employer gets a credit back for a portion of the employee's hours. Where they hire somebody like me, well, you know, there is no credit, no nothing for that. Obviously, because I don't fit any of those criterias, any of those molds, any of those things. Because, well, it's the way I am. If I was another type of person, I would get all the help I needed and more. Even the help I don't want, they would give to me. They'd be buying me this, buying me that, sending me back for retraining. But if I want to better myself on my own, then I have to pay for that myself. I guess it's the way it goes, right? But pretty much, guys, that's kind of been the day so far. A little bit of a frustrating morning, a little bit of a humiliating morning, but I've been through worse when I was younger, and sometimes you got to go through all this to get to the other side, where something's better is waiting for you. So, I'm going to do a few things, get a couple more things rolling, probably try to score me some supper, and we'll see y'all then. Well, hello YouTube, here we are. We come to the end of another day. Well, it was a good day, a little bit of a frustrating day, but well, that's the way she goes sometimes. I am quickly reaching to my end, on my point of frustration, where I don't believe there are employers that are hiring. If they are, they're looking for a specific candidate, a specific kind of person. And a white male Canadian who has lived here his whole life, I believe is on the other end of that list. You know, you hear people all the time, oh, I've got a job, or I got this, or I got that, and sometimes it's because of who you know, or who they know, or who knows them. And recently there's been a lot of hiring of discount laborers, discount people who employers can get a rebate from the government. And all that does is put us Canadians out of work. I know there's people out there that will not like to hear what I'm saying, but it's true. You walk into these businesses and there's people there that are working these jobs, working these positions that you would love to work. You can tell that they weren't born here. They came here because their English is very, very bad. And you can tell that they have next to zero experience in the job they're doing, because their customer service skills is really, really bad as well. I've been saying it for a while about customer service, how it's took a nosedive, but at least when you got crappy service before, there was a reason for it. It's because it was a teenager or the person was young. And now it's somebody that's come here and basically took your job. Because the employer, in the effort to save money, to cut costs, hires these people, again, because they get rebates from the government on their income. All it's done is it's run us Canadians broke out of our own country, essentially. There's a lot of us that were working jobs that when the patch went soft, usually we used to just, go to fast food or go to retail or go to wherever and pick up another job, even one or two more jobs, and work the slow time, the 6-8 months or whatever, a year, until things bounce back. And now those bounce back jobs aren't there. They're being held by other people and for other people. And when they do advertise for wanting a position, they're not looking for us. They're looking for people of their own kind. I know, I apologize for it sounding kind of rude, but it is what it is. And if they are ever pressured into hiring one of us, then they make the life of one of us very, very hard while we are there. For starters, they know how to speak English, because my tax dollars paid them to speak English, to learn English, and they choose not to. So us working there that are trying to speak English don't understand a word they say, and then they get mad with us because we can't speak their language. Well, I wonder how long it would take if we went to their country and did things that they are doing here, there. How long it would take us to be beheaded or shot or hung or on the slow boat back to where we came from. All I know is the work environment has sure changed, especially in the last couple of years. And the whole world is going a direction that is not a good direction to be going. It wouldn't be bad if there was jobs for everybody, or at least decent jobs for those that want them, but there is nothing, and I mean literally nothing. I'll do any job that anybody else does for less money an hour, but yet still nobody will hire me. Nobody will hire us Canadians, and they're forcing us to do things in our lives that we wouldn't normally do, or make choices to start doing things in our lives that we wouldn't normally do. Why do you think there's been so many thefts and so many break and enters and vehicles stolen in the last year or so? I'm not saying that it's out of work oil field workers that are doing it. I'm not pointing fingers at nobody, but I'm just saying when jobs are scarce, there are still bills to be paid, still food to be brought home to feed your kids. The food bank limits how much you can take. They cut off limits in a week, stuff like that. I have been in them food bank lineups when I was younger, been through different aspects of the system when I was younger, and it's very humiliating and not very much fun. The question I have for those people is, what would you do to feed your children? When you've exhausted food banks, when your family either doesn't have money because they're in the same boat as you, or won't help you, and there is no jobs to be had for us Canadians, what would you do to feed your family? You on one hand, well, if you skip a meal or so, whatever, right? But we're talking about your children. I know for me, if I was a parent, I would walk through fire for my kid, and I don't care what happens or what it is. If my kid needed something or was hungry, I would do whatever it took to make sure they got their food, they got their meal. So I don't know if you want to say one of the lucky ones. You know, there's no children. However, there still is bills to be paid and a mortgage to be paid. And with all that comes all that pressure to pay those bills and pay those mortgages. And do you give up and hop in your truck and go live under a bridge somewhere where the weather's warmer? Or, you know, what do, right? Your rent is still high around this town. My mortgage is less than the price of rent. So it doesn't make sense for me to give up and throw everything I own in the garbage and move to an apartment and pay out my mortgage and rent. I might as well do the best I can with what I got, pick up jobs or work or do whatever I need to do, even if it's something that I don't want to do, I never thought I ever would do, to pay the mortgage, because, well, it's the way it is. But pretty much, guys, of course, when you got a lot of things on your mind, sometimes you tend to say things you wouldn't normally say. Sometimes you would do things that you wouldn't normally do, because you're driven to the point of no return. I feel a time for that is coming very, very close. It is what it is, and around we go. But thanks for watching this here video, and if your feathers got ruffled, well, maybe look around and be thankful for what you have in your life, and because it can change at a moment's notice. And as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's Vlogs. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.